McCarthy, the new Steelers head coach. He's excited about it. He's a Pittsburgh guy. What needs to be looked at a little bit, y'all. I'm a Pat McAfee fan, but he's been on the Pat McAfee show for a recently while. I don't know who's watching. I don't know how much these NFL guys have the Pat McAfee show on. They probably, have first take on too, but they like the Pat McAfee show too because Brandon Bean, the guy who just got re-signed, he moved up a level, or he got promoted in the Bills organization for what he's been doing. I mean, he hasn't had no really Pro Bowlers going to the Pro Bowl, hasn't had really any All Pros, hasn't drafted well. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's been all Josh Allen, and then they bring up Joe Brady to be the head coach. I don't know how much is that going to change because when they lost to the Chiefs in those playoff games, I felt like those play calls in the end when it was all in Josh's hands, those play calls could have been better. I know Sean McDermott's known as a defensive guy. I know we're kind of getting on off track because I don't know how I did this, but I know Sean McDermott's the offensive. He's a defensive guy. In all those playoff games, he was just giving up multiple points. But Mike McCarthy, he's had multiple 12-win seasons as the Cowboys head coach. Has a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. We don't know what Aaron Rodgers' decision is coming into the season. I don't know if he's answered any questions about Aaron Rodgers yet. If he does, I'll make another video about that. But we're gonna see what he's talking about. I haven't seen anything. All I've heard is he's gotten emotional. Being a Pittsburgh guy and coming back to the organization he's loved all his life. The '70s was probably when he was a kid or when he was growing up for him, watching the Steelers play. What a time that must have been. I wish I could have grew up in that era. I'm a Seahawks fan, but Steelers is like '70s Steelers that I hold like a special place in my heart. Just Mean Joe Green, Lynn Swan, Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, um, Stallworth, Bradshaw. Just it really set the tone of what the NFL like was, and kind of set the gold standard, like a gold standard of teams. The Steelers was that. Then you have the Raiders in there. Raiders with the black. I was about to say the black curtain, but what's it? What's their fight song? God, it's by John Facenda. If you know it, you know it. It's like premium, the creme de la creme for the NFL. So I'm happy for Mike McCarthy. I just don't know if this is the right move for them because Steelers, they've had long-term head coaches. Uh, Mike Tomlin's been there for 20 years, I think, 19 years, and he's 62, so we don't know if he's going to coach that long or he's somewhere between 62 and 70, somewhere in there. So we don't know if he's going to coach that long for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe he coaches 10 years, maybe it's 6 years, and then he hands the reins to somebody. Maybe it's a nice handing the reins of a young guy that he's been working with, something like that. But yeah, I hopefully some wins are gonna come out of this. Maybe some playoff wins. Steeler fans I've been seeing online, they're not too happy about it. They think Art should sell the team, the family should sell the team. I don't think that's cool. It's just online people just yapping around talking. Is meaning nothing. The real Steelers fans probably gonna ride it out, see how it goes. Art and the family always been um stand up owners. I feel like in the league, they've been one of the top guys. They don't spend on their guys. I feel or in the right places. Like getting Jalen Ramsey and those old players wasn't really good move in my opinion. Go for younger talent. Go for the draft. Get your corners through the draft, or try to get younger corners like Isaiah Rogers was traded last year from the uh, Eagles. Like you could have gone after a corner like that, some guys like that. And then your wide receiver, you can't do those screens no more. Hopefully, he develops a quarterback where they're not doing the screens all the time. Because that's when Aaron Rodgers and Gainwell, like if you're a Steelers fan, that had to be tough to watch sometimes. Those screens with Gainwell sometimes, they're saying he's a dog and all that stuff, but those screens were kind of rough looking at him sometimes. So shout out, shout out Mike McCarthy, man. and his new adventure instead of being online and talking to Pat.
All right, here we go. Um, Thank you, Gord. I think I thought at least be able to get started. Oftentimes coaches and players, you put on new team colors and it takes.
But imagine that. Yeah, it has to be like so surreal though, being from Pittsburgh and yeah, like just hearing him now, like he's getting a little choked up just even starting because he's you heard him, but yeah, but just coaching for the team that you grew up rooting for and all those Super Bowls and having a chance to bring one of those and having a chance of that being in that legacy, it has to be, yeah, it's a great
It
feeling,
takes a minute
probably.
to feel comfortable in those new colors. But to be blessed beyond any measure, one day to put on the colors you wore that you brought home. I apologize. Brett, I told you not to sit my family down there in front of me. This is so unfair. When you come home from Mercy Hospital, I do want to thank Art Rooney, Omar Khan, Dan Rooney, and
Shoot, the arts look just like if you go back to the '70s and look at the grandfather, boy, they don't miss a beat. Boy, they got that slick back hair and that old white look. My God, they don't miss a beat with the
the entire
Lawrence
Steelers
and that family.
organization for the trust they placed in me to represent one of the most
Just
storied
pass me
franchises
down.
in all sports. I understand and embrace the responsibility, the privilege, and the weight that comes with this stewardship. This city, this franchise, this fan base.
Khan looks like a bot. I know they can't say anything, like they just trying to get to work and get things started. Like press conferences got to be like it got to be a head scratcher sometimes just going into these things because it's like what we're doing, okay? Like what else do you want to know, motherfuckers? Like damn, we hired him. We're moving in some direction. Okay, you want to know about Aaron Rodgers and the offense and the defense, the contracts? Cool. We'll text you. He just Mike probably the only one that need to be there. Art and Con just giving me weird vibes right now. Art just looking at everybody like I'm richer than you or something. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't really gotta be here, but I'm here for the antics. But
Means the world to me because Pittsburgh's my world, and it's just awesome to be back here. Um, I do want to thank two men I'm very fortunate to call friends, Mike Tomlin and Bill Connolly.
man, yeah, that has to be something. Shout out Bill. Cause Bill's I heard he's from Pittsburgh too, so he knows about growing up and doing that. So Bill actually succeeded in doing the plan, being a part of the legacy of that 70 Steelers and just, bringing back that title to where it belongs. Sometimes they don't belong in the Patriots. Those fans aren't grateful. They just think they just belong there. Steeler fans, yeah, right. I want to see the Raiders get back too. I'm a Seattle fan. I love my teams, but they're AFC teams too. So, it don't matter. But yeah, those teams they need to get back to prominence, man. Raiders, Steelers, teams that made this league what it is. Packers, no. Packers got weird vibes to me. Like the little air raid offense they got going on. That's not. I don't like the Packers anyway. We beat them in the playoffs. They beat us in '04 or '03, whatever it was, 20 years ago. We got the most craziest wins against them. I would say. You know, they don't like to hear that. F the I don't like to hear about Lombardi. I don't like to hear the first Super Bowl. I don't like none of the cheesehead stuff. Shout out Caleb Williams.
They've represented this organization with such class, and I'm honored to follow in their footsteps. They left the proverbial cupboard full for sure.
Yeah, man. It will be exciting next going into next season. The Browns have a new head coach too. I forgot who they hired, but I think Todd Monken, the OC from the Baltimore Ravens. I don't really like that hire for them. I think they could have gone in a different direction. It was reported a lot of coaches did not want that job, But the Steelers found their guy. Hopefully, it's the right guy. What do y'all think of the hire? Do you think Mike's the guy? Steelhouse is still out there, being the OC for or the play caller for the Rams, and then Kubiak. Kubiak knows what he's doing. He wants to stay. Probably wait another year, wait another 2 years. Kubiak is cooking right now. Hopefully, he stays. His whole career, another 10 years, so he can develop Jalen Milrow, and then Jalen Milrow can get us another Super Bowl. I got high hopes for Jalen, bro. Like if Jalen keeps climbing the ladder, bro, wait him another 4 years. Hopefully, we believe in him and not trade him away to some team because he's talented. But and we're seeing with a lot of running quarterbacks too. Lamar Jackson, he's not being able to hold up what he used to be doing and things of that nature. So like Jalen Milrow, will he still be able to do the things he did in college? But what do y'all think? Let me know what y'all think of Mike, and I'm out.